Welcome back to Mega Man Battle Network 2. Last time we completed the airplane scenario, but now that Land's back in Electopia, it's time for a side quest episode, which means I'm gonna do the thing I didn't actually do when I could've, and do the V2s in Netopia.
Okay, you had me thinking that I loaded the wrong video.
Sorry about that.
You said he was back in Electopia or whatever, and he's not. He's in New York.
Yeah, so, we will discover in the next episode how we're able to travel back here so easily. But yeah, we can just travel back. And just as a note, you might actually want to not progress until you've done side quests, in terms of, like, I think some of the stuff is actually available before Land goes to bed, but after the airplane scenario, so if you want to not have certain things barring your way, it might be a good idea to do this earlier than going to bed. We'll see you in the next episode, but the reason I'm not covering all the side quests today is because we don't exactly have full access to the internet.
So I don't know what your opinion on this is. I feel like these boss fights take too long.
Yeah. So, it is a little bit of... I don't exactly have an optimized folder, so that's a little bit of it. But also, Thunderman is a tedious fight. I do feel like sometimes the bosses in this game have a few too many protections. Feel like it was mostly just Sharkman that did that in the first game. But yeah, here you've got Thunderman, who's got his clouds going back and forth. There's Toadman and the lily pad gimmick. Oh boy. And I keep getting into positions that I really don't want to be in.
Sorry, made me laugh because Macho Man Randy Savage said something pretty similar to that once. Anyways. My frame of reference for, like, card battle RPG games on the Game Boy Advance is Chain of Memories, and if a boss fight lasts as long as the average Battle Network boss fight in Chain of Memories, it's a sign that you're not playing the game very well.
In fairness, I got a busting rank 5, so yes, I'm not playing as optimally as I could be. My deck is still not exactly up to snuff, but yeah, no, typically if you want to S-rank, I think any Navi, no matter the level, the time to beat is pretty much always, 30 seconds.
Oh, Christ. They burn through 1,000 health in 30 seconds.
There are ways. For one, of course, this is a wood elemental boss, so if you stack your deck with fire chips, you'll do a lot better. I don't have a lot of elemental variants, as it were. Though, again, this is another boss that's just kind of annoying and has too many protections, in this case, fleeing at just about every opportunity.
At least he has a bit less health.
And also, these snakes aren't doing nearly as much to deter me as the clouds, which are just a constant obstacle on the battlefield.
These snakes follow consistent patterns, so you can plan around them. Ah! Yeah, imagine if he did that in Star Force, which is closer to a first-person view.
Yeah, that'd be horrifying. Just Snake Man jump scare.
But Star Force on the 3DS with jump scares would have gone incredibly hard. We need more comedy jump scares, and I don't know where we're going to get them because Smiling Friends is going off the air.
You know, that actually worked, and oh boy, I finally get Gate Man. Now that I don't really need Gator, I've got Gator.
This being called Gator is so funny to me every time, because I'm just like, what do alligators have to do with any of this?
I mean, there might be an alligator in that flurry of random crud that Gate's got inside of him, I don't know.
There should be a big reptile in that, but it should be a crocodile.
Snake Man is actually a bit of a weird chip, so he kind of just lunges at the enemy, but, if I remember correctly, the optimal way to use that one is actually to use it when there's a hole on the enemy side of the field, and that'll, like, summon more snakes to hit him, to hit your enemy, so... Yeah, that one's a little misleading. It seems a little underpowered at first, but I do believe there's a gimmick to it. Alright, so now we're at the requests board part of it. The nice part about this game is that there aren't that many request board missions overall. We've only had a couple of episodes for side quests so far, and I'd say we've definitely cleared about half, if not more, of the side quests, which is cool and good. But this is one of the things that we're not going to be completing today, because again, can't really access the full internet right now.
And MMOs and MMO-style RPGs have very much spoiled me on side quests. I'm so used to just being able to take as many as you can, and then just doing them.
Yeah. The one-at-a-time thing does kind of suck. I'm glad Star Force DX exists so I didn't have to deal with it there.
It's very much just like, uh-oh, our game came short 2 hours. Better pad it out somehow.
We wanna make this game longer than Battle Network 1, so, side quests? At the very least, there is usually a little more intrigue to this than just go on the internet, collect a chip, and deliver it to a person who just says thanks, and then it's over. Because it's Battle Network 2, so of course, even just flavor text like that is going to be interesting somehow. Never thought this could happen at a campground.
But what's this?
Also, yeah, if you're wondering, is it possible to revisit the detonator computers again? Yes. They're all right here, for your viewing pleasure. Uh-oh, don't say that to Land, he doesn't trust foreigners.
I was hoping if I didn't ask how racist this episode was going to get, it wouldn't get racist.
So anyway, Chod's here, ignoring an apparently wanted criminal in the background there. Because that is the guy we're looking for from the detective of this job, but I guess it doesn't matter to Chod, he's doing something else. So yeah, Proto Man here. Like I said, it's entirely possible to kind of bait him into certain actions, which is cool and good. Oh man, I want to just be able to hit him with Gator. Please. Oh jeez, point blank.
Completely unnecessary.
The thing is, like, regular Gate could actually do some good damage to Proto Man, especially with that plus 20, but... What if Gator, though? Hi.
Suddenly Frog.
Get croaked, idiot. There we go. Okay, this is why you gotta stack your deck with lots of winds and fans. Otherwise, you are not getting Gator in a timely manner. Well, second best option. just kill him with this. So I will say, this does make Proto Man look pretty easy, but, he really isn't. Well, this is a purely reactionary boss fight. This is also only Proto Man V2, which, V3 is very difficult. It's kind of the same spirit, but he's even more active in V3.
Well, V3 also has 52 different attacks, but they only programmed in like 6 of them.
I feel like every time I have to refer to V3 Navis, there's just a percentage chance you are going to make some Kamen Rider V3 joke about it.
Look! V3 was probably one of the more distinct Showa-era shows.
It was, yeah.
You got that, Amazon, and some parts of Black RX. And by that I mean the banana-eating ogre.
Yes. It aired, yesterday was the anniversary of it, to date this episode. And truly, the greatest episode of television. But, yeah, we got the Proto Man chip back there. As a note, yes, chips are typically coded based on the NetNavi's name, so the first letter of their name is gonna be what the chip code is. So, of course, Proto Man's a little weird because in Japanese his name is Blues. So they didn't want to change that to Proto Man P, so it's just Proto Man B now. I actually don't know if that's the only Navi that applies to. 'Cause I think typically in most other situations, like, robot master names didn't really change. It is mostly just the major characters. I don't remember what Base's stuff was in the previous game. Or in Network Transmission. Does he get a B or does he get an F?
I forget, in a future game there's a net Navi called Slur.exe. Surprised he's not in this game. Is he still called that?
That is the anime.
Is the anime? Okay.
Yeah, he's anime exclusive, thankfully. We don't have to deal with Slur.
What? They can't mean a bigoted term of speech, but like, what does it mean? Like, what are they referring to, if not that?
You know, I've never watched enough of NT Warrior to know Slur at all. I only know of him from just various reviews and the fact that he's named Slur, so of course that's going to come up a lot in discussion about the anime.
But if anybody wants to make an abridged series about Mega Man NT Warrior, easy joke, just have all of Slur.exe's dialogue completely censored.
Okay, yeah, so it's Catcher N, so it was indeed the N chip I needed. So yeah, I got extremely lucky, and I just managed to get a chip I needed for a side quest. So yeah, good thing I picked that up so I don't have to do any extra grinding. Guy's just like, oh yeah, it's so violent in other countries. And Lan's just like, yeah, I get what you mean, buddy. Not mine, though. Mine's perfectly safe. Nothing bad has ever happened in Electopia.
I was about to say, MegaMan.EXE is just playing footage of all the insane shit that's happened to Lan in just 2 games.
Lan, Count Zap was an Electopian native. You remember that guy, right? Guy's so weirdo.
Remember when Mad hacked all of the cars and just had them wreck into each other and explode?
So yeah, I'm skipping help reconcile us for now. But we have to fight crime in this one. There's a guy over after me. He's gonna get me. I'm in a telephone. I cannot tell you which one, or he's going to find me and I'm going to die. He's trying to kick my butt. Alright, so telephone does sound like it's a pretty vague thing that could be anywhere, but we don't actually know that many telephones, really. We do know, however, somebody who has antique things. There was a lot of emphasis on the fan earlier on, the fans, but she does have a telephone over here, too.
That giant fucking border collie statue or stuffed animal, whatever it is, catches me off guard every single time.
I only just noticed the duck in the entryway, because it's just at the edge of the map, but I'm really digging that guy. Oh no! This poor Mr. Prague. Alright, so we haven't actually been in the telephone before, which is why that's only 1,000 zennies, which isn't really that much anymore. Oh, and a regular up 1. Exciting. Alright, have you seen somebody trying to kick somebody's butt? Tragic. Alright, uh-oh. Looks like he was already found. This is the bad Navi. Please get him! It's the one part of him that's not blue. You imbecile.
Really hoping it'd be like, what? No, this guy's the bad Navi.
Alright, so I'm gonna have to remove you as soon as possible and not be in your face, or you are going to bubble me. So anyway, these enemies suck to fight with elect guts, because they are wood style. You might recognize them as enemies from the first game. There aren't really that many of them left in this game anymore, but since there are so few of them, in terms of like recolors, yeah, these guys just have 300 HP. They're now late game enemies specifically. Oh god, I hate this. Hate this, I hate this, I hate this. They are just the usual, like, tracker shot enemy, but still.
So, uh-oh, you have 2/3 of Gator again.
Will I get the last one? Probably not. And also, it's two enemies that aren't usually weak at the same time, so it's not even gonna help that much. Yeah, you know, this isn't really a difficult attack to dodge or anything, but man, whenever you're weak to something in terms of elements, it always becomes twice as scary. And it doesn't matter for me, because if I get hit by anything, usually I just restart a fight. There are, of course, exceptions, and oh, I did manage to get them at the same time, go me. But you know, unless I'm really, really, really tired of this game and the things it throws at me, I usually try to do this without getting hit, so it's no worse than anything else. Yeah, after that guy died, I just picked this up. It's the GOSP code. So that's actually really important because we've seen gospel cubes around the net. That's kind of the equivalent to the World 3 code in the first game. So now we just have access to a bunch of pretty decent items in our overall big dungeon that is the internets. What is the internet if not just a central dungeon for all of us? Okay, what next? Help research? Cool. Alright, this one. Ooh boy. Yeah, I need combat data. Also, you might die, but you know, that's the price you pay for combat data! winky face that away. Don't be cute about this. Mega Man could die. And then Lan would also die.
Okay, now if this is a good game, this is going to be like a hot female scientist who's also kind of scary.
It's just this guy.
Never fucking mind. Push this guy off the edge.
I'll generate a virus 5 times in a row.
I am so sick of this exact setup.
Hey, bad news. You know how we're doing the request boards? Remember how I said there's an S license?
I figured there's more licenses to go, but...
So yeah, oh, also, on the note of the, S license, I thought that was actually a necessary thing to complete the game, but, it's actually not. You don't need the S license, so actually, technically speaking, if you want to beat the game and not bother with any, like, post-game stuff, you don't have to do any more license stuff. Lucky you. Also, we are getting to the point where they definitely want you to be more optimized, cause, oh god, this formation. That might seem a little wasteful, but like... yeah, it's not gonna be useful for a goofball. My least favorite guy. Alright, and now, we beg the question. Can I get through this without taking any damage? Goofball's on stage, so probably not. I kinda need to approach just to use a sword. This is one of those instances where I do not like what the game's throwing at me, and I can't be bothered doing no hit. There's a bit of good news, though. Breaker chip. That is one way you can actually get around that sort of thing. Though again, there's no actual, like, indication of breaker chips in this game. It's later on in the series that they have a visual tell, which I definitely miss. I think that is definitely a good feature in the later ones. And there we go. And it's too bad we're not getting chips for this because the rain cloud enemies actually have a really good one. They just go up and down a column, which is highly useful.
I'd probably be more tolerant of these gauntlets if you did get chips from them.
Yeah, it feels like a waste since you don't. But yeah, they are pretty much just check to see if you have a good folder. We're not quite at, like, the pure mastery yet. Also, Dominator 2. I don't remember if they have the gimmick that, the third version of that enemy does. But we do want this thing to die as soon as possible. Because if I remember correctly... yeah, if it's not this one, then the V3 version of the enemy actually does have, Geddon? The chip that just makes all the tiles break, or, crack. Actually, Geddon 3 might straight up be a break. Which, considering the mad dash I took to get rid of that enemy, I think the second version might actually have Geddon 3. Which, as you might imagine, with a floating enemy, really sucks, because it's very easy to just get cornered in that case. The other nice thing is, this is at least not the version of the enemy that leaves a fire trail. Which would be really bad with 2 of the same enemy and a guy who can break the tiles. Whoa, this is such amazing battle data! But like, you're too good, so it's not actually that useful. You're an outlier. MegaMan.EXE is an outlier and should not be counted. You do at least get a power-up for that, though. Okay, so let's see. I wanna say we only have 1 mission left to do. Yeah, please help I can't do just yet, so... Gotta lend some cash. Oof, that's so much zenny.
This guy is fucked even if we do help him.
Thankfully, this 11-year-old child can come in to help.
That's the thing, if you're in a position where, like, I need $50,000 in cash today, even if you do get bailed out and there are no consequences to it today, you're gonna end up in that position again at some point.
Well, I mean, that's a problem for them to figure out if they hit it again. But you know, as far as land's concerned, this is just another job. So anyway, this guy we're looking for isn't hanging outside of Yai's house, he's hanging out inside of it. Is Yai just letting you stay here while you get back on your feet?
Is this like a servant?
Nah, he's working for disaster reconstruction, apparently. And darn it, everything's just too peaceful. Now granted, there have been those earthquakes, but you know.
Everything's been too peaceful, there's a terrorist group! The fucking... whatever the fuck group we were a part of in Netopia was nearly wiped out. I guess no one died in that, but it really felt like they had.
Alright, so we're putting in a little bit of investment, so... we can't just get paid back right away, so... We're gonna have to, get interest on this in the future. Yeah, actually, yeah, what are you doing here? She let him hide here. Okay.
Why is Yai Yai, don't fuck with loan sharks!
Actually, I don't think loan sharks could fuck with me. You don't know what kind of defenses this mansion has, Lan. It's the safest spot in all of AC/DC. Alright, so she's sheltering people from loan sharks and earthquakes. You know what? Look, yeah, there aren't a lot of good rich people in the world, but apparently you're one of them.
Unless there's something to contradict this, I'm going to headcanon that Yai was not raised in this family. She grew up poor and had some, like, wacky... oh my god, that was actually our daughter situation.
Anyway, yeah, apparently a disaster happened after we left the house, and they immediately paid us back. Which, you know, if that's the amount of interest we got for like 12 seconds, I kinda wish it took longer for that disaster to happen.
I love whenever time needs to pass in a video game. It never makes sense.
Yeah, I'm guessing they assumed the player would take longer and just kind of like do other things, assuming that it would take longer for something to happen, but no, you just have to leave the house. Okay, well, we're done with requests for now. But, like I said, we are doing the S-rank license today. Okay, so we don't need to use this room. 'Cause, I mean, the rest of them aren't necessary. So if you want to just log in through Lan's computer and hop on over to Electopia's square, you can just do that. You're free to enter this little spot without entering through this computer, but hey, we're here, we might as well log in through here too. This is a survival battle test. Delete 10 viruses that appear in a row.
Fucking Christ.
Guess what the rest of the video is. So I will say, this is a pretty straightforward test at least. There's no extra stuff we need to do. It's just 10 fights in a row. Cause, you know, the 5 fights in a row was so very easy. Here's the comical fight where they try to kill you with a bomb. Also, I've made note of it before, but I really should be just using a regular Buster Shot sometimes, because it's actually pretty strong. We'll discover that eventually, but yeah, charges are definitely helpful to stun enemies for Elect Guts, but it's definitely not a necessary thing if you just want to do damage. Okay, this one doesn't even look difficult, this just looks annoying.
This isn't even difficult, this is just annoying, is like a video game staple.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Mega Man, the fan fell down through the floor.
It's fine, that was just a filler chip that I wanted out of the lineup anyway. Not that it mattered, because I didn't bring the custom screen back up. Oh, I hate you so much. I hate this man in front of me. I would like him to not exist anymore. But yeah, I do feel like, the post-game does have some genuinely difficult fights. But yeah, we're at the point where, again, you don't necessarily need mastery, but they definitely are expecting more from you. Which, considering my Gator setup isn't great at the moment, fights aren't going quite as fast as they should be. On the bright side, though, at least I have this. Also, God, I forgot they had to shorten it to Can Devil. I mean, good for him, I guess.
So I like these shadow monsters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've got a cool design, but considering they can only be hurt by swords, they are very annoying. I did think at one point you were able to hurt them when they like transform to attack you, but I don't think that's actually true. Either that or recolors that particular enemy are very annoying. Also, I went after him first, but honestly, it might not be a bad idea to keep him alive so we can break the magnet platforms. Or the magnet tiles, rather. I think every spot, I think every frame of this sprite is just very good. Every bit of that animation is just a very good expression. That might be my favorite enemy. They're just funny little guys. And also, as a group, they are kind of difficult, but not, like, overly complicated, so, I like them. Also, here's this guy. Here's Null. There's just monstrosities on the field, which thankfully are water element, which means I can kill them easily. But yeah, they kind of just wander around and automatically heal. They've got a regen on them. And eventually they'll just spawn whirlpools on your side of the field. No.
Oh no, the
it's
Yorts.
Right, so we've got weird shmup ships here. I would like this guy gone, though, because his blast is very big. I think that was the third one, right? Which means he just gets a square around him. With the third version of the B-Tank enemies, never stand in the middle, because if you do, you simply can't dodge them anymore. Yeah, Gray's definitely the, third version. Because we've seen red, we've seen blue. Gray's the last one.
Yort just sounds like Coach C got a fancy boat. Or one of those tents.
Hanging out in New York, home star.
Hey, check it out, Homestar. I put a tent on my boat so I could be in my yort in my yort. Okay, I can't just keep thinking of hypothetical Homestar dialogue. I need to... We're back to these fuckers.
I mean, yeah, it's just 3 of the fishy type enemies. Honestly, despite the fact that it's the second version, I genuinely think that one is the worst of all of them. For that exact reason. I only barely made it out of that unscathed. Oh great, my favorite enemy. I love Goofball.
10 is too many.
It's so great.
I've lost count. I'm just looking at the video timer.
Yeah. We're almost there. We've almost survived. Hi. All of you are a little too close for my liking, so I'm going to remove you. And as always, I still hate Goofball as an enemy. He's kinda just one of my least favorite enemy types. Although, thankfully he decided to be useless there. You know what? I'll take it. No, please give me Silver Fist so I can punch this man. No? Alright. He really hates that fan. That vacuum, or whichever you are. Get them mixed up all the time. Alright, well. Mask doesn't block roll, so perish. And I even get some of my health back, yay. Alright, we did it, we got an S license. Again, that's not necessary, so... That's completely optional and for post-game content. Regular up one, also cool. So yeah, that's it for side quests today. Next time on Mega Man Battle Network 2, Pulling Teeth in Video Game Form, Part 1.